Hello friend. I want to tell you about the Opel Astra car. Timeless styling, spacious interior, solid mechanics and very low prices of parts. It would seem that the Opel Astra is one of those cars that you can buy blindly. However, it also has its drawbacks. Engines in the Opel Astra. The range of powertrains is very wide. The manufacturer has prepared something for everyone. Petrol engines start with the smallest 1.2 with 65 or 75 HP. They are rare and not suitable for the Astra. When looking for a small unit, it is best to focus on the 1.4 with 90 HP. The 1.6 engines develop from 75 to 105 HP depending on the solutions in the head. The 1.8 engines generating 116 or 125 HP can be considered decently dynamic. At the top are 2-liter engines offering from 136 to 160 HP. The 2.216V unit, 147 hydrogen phosphide, was also used. Only the sports version OPC and the coupe and cabriolet were powered by the 200 HP 2.016V engine with turbocharging. The number of diesel units is smaller, but also offers a full range of power. The simplest engine is the Isuzu 1.7TD design generating 68 HP. Its development with direct injection is 1.7 DTI, 75 hydrogen phosphide, while with the common rail system 1.7 CDTI, 80 hydrogen phosphide. Above that we have 2-liter 82 and 101 HP and the most powerful 2.2 DTI with 125 HP. Which engine to choose? In general, Opel engines are good, but they have some problems. For example, some petrol engines can consume oil, especially the 1.8. This is a known phenomenon that most users simply get used to. Others, especially those with a 16-valve head, run the risk of premature timing belt failure. The 1.216V engine does not have this problem, because it is equipped with a chain drive. Overall, the 1.216V engine is a very good design, suffering only from quickly wearing ignition coils. However, its poor performance does not fit a compact car. It was created for the Casa model, which is why it is rare to see Astras with this engine. Better in terms of cost are the 16-valve 1.4 and 1.6 engines. They have the right power and provide decent performance, and at the same time do not cause major problems. They tolerate gas operation well, but you have to be very careful with the timing belt. It is best to replace it every 50 to 60,000 kilometers. At each replacement, a new water pump should be installed, which is also the belt tensioner. In some engines, e.g. 1.6 twin-port, 105 hydrogen phosphide, the pump is driven by the accessory belt. The 8-valve 1.6 engines with a small power output of 75 hydrogen phosphide, up to 2000, or 84 hydrogen phosphide, after 2000, are completely problem-free. They are ideal for gassing, and even in the event of a timing belt break, there is no serious failure. The timing is practically collision-free. Hydraulic valve clearance compensation also helps in servicing. The same solution was used in the 16 volts. You can install a cheaper LPG system in an older engine with single-point injection, while in a newer one you have to use a sequential system. However, the engine does not have high requirements. It is difficult to even mention typical faults in its case, because there are none. The only problem with this engine is its low power and poor dynamics. Those who need slightly better than average performance should opt for the 1.8 and 2.0 units. These are almost identical designs to the 1.616V. Also driven by a timing belt. Due to its dynamics, we recommend the 160 horsepower version in particular. However, this engine is reserved exclusively for the 3-door OPC. The most complicated petrol engine is the 2.216V. It has 2 timing chains. It does not cause problems, but in our opinion it is a bit of a triumph of style over substance. The same cannot be said about the most dynamic engine, the 2.016V turbo. It develops 200 HP and provides the Astra with very good performance and high reliability. Unfortunately, it has one problem. After a mileage of 200–250,000 kilometers, this unit may already require repairs. Oil consumption and a drop in power are clearly noticeable. That is why when buying the Astra 2.0 Turbo, that's how much a solid overhaul costs. Basically, any petrol engine offered in the Opel Astra II can be recommended. In terms of cost, the best choice will be the 1.68V. The best performance, taking into account low costs, will be provided by the 1.816V with 125 HP. The golden mean is the 1.416V, 90 hydrogen phosphide, or 1.616V, 101 hydrogen phosphide. Although Opel cannot be ashamed of its diesel range, it is difficult to find a golden mean among them. The closest to this is the 1.7C DTI engine with common rail injection of a simple design, without a dual-mass flywheel. The 80 HP it gives is enough for safe and efficient movement at not too high speeds, and at the same time it is economical. Its older version 1.7 DTI offers slightly less, 75 HP. It also has direct injection, but it is carried out by an injection pump. This one is quite reliable. The 1.7 TD engine is more problematic. It is an old design that does not provide either performance, 68 hydrogen phosphide, or low fuel consumption, and the rotary pump in the power supply system often fails. All 1.7 diesels use a timing belt and mechanical valve clearance adjustment. The timing belt in 1.7 diesels should be replaced every 150,000 kilometers, and at the same time it is worth checking the clearance on the oil pump and its tightness. Leaks often appear there. The largest 2.0 DTI and 2.2 DTI diesels are technically somewhat outdated. They have fuel injection with a rotary pump, which unfortunately causes a lot of problems. The most expensive pump to repair is in the 2.0 engine with 101 HP. There is also air in the injection system and leaks, and removing them requires dismantling the upper part of the engine. If fuel leaks, it gets into the oil, hence the not uncommon cases of the unit seizing. In addition, there is the problem of cracking heads of version 2.2 under heavy load. It is good that at least the timing drive is realized by a chain, which is practically maintenance-free. Despite their large capacity, the 2.0 and 2.2 engines can impress with their low fuel consumption, while also offering good performance. However, they are heavy and require higher fees, which, given today's third-party liability insurance rates, is becoming increasingly important. It is also worth mentioning that parts for the 2.2 DTI engine can be very expensive. That is why we especially recommend the 1.7 DTI, 75 hydrogen phosphide, and 1.7C DTI, 80 hydrogen phosphide, units. The latter is the most economical. What's going wrong in the Opel Astra? As with other models of this brand, electrical problems often occur. Just get in the car and check if all the equipment works. Usually something is faulty. The onboard computer or radio screen may only display part of the information, pixels disappear. Alternators and ABS sensors also break down. They are usually damaged during repairs. The suspension was designed with our roads in mind. The front is a classic McPherson strut, very durable. At the same time, it is cheap to service, because the triangular wishbone has replaceable silent blocks and pins. Most often, you have to replace knocking steering ends and stabilizer links. In the rear suspension we have a traditional torsion beam, suspended on elastic elements, replaced once every 200 to 300,000 kilometers. Apart from that, maintenance is not required. Only the wheel bearings, which are integrated with the hub, generate higher costs. The steering system can cause more problems than the suspension. Opel used an electro-hydraulic power steering system, which is more expensive to repair than a purely hydraulic one. In addition, two types of pumps were used, Delphi or TRW, and they are not interchangeable. Typical Astra G ailments include corrosion, especially of the connections and exhaust system, although rust on body elements is also not an unfamiliar phenomenon. Minor body element defects include quickly dulling headlight lenses and their reflectors that wear out. Operating costs, prices and availability of spare parts. Operating costs are one of the biggest advantages of the Opel Astra, especially this generation. Repair prices can also be considered low. The spare parts market is very well stocked, and the only thing you can't get are some injection system components, especially for 2.0 and 2.2 diesel engines. Is it worth buying an Opel Astra? In our opinion, this is one of the best competitors for the Volkswagen Golf IV. Both models can currently be considered cheap cars for everyday driving, on which you won't lose much and can be maintained for little money. It is therefore not surprising that the Astra is still popular. Thanks for listening to me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and rate my video. If you know of any problems with this car that I haven't mentioned, be sure to write about them in the comments.
I have good news for you. Now, if you are planning to buy a used car, or learn more about your car, you no longer need to search for the information you need on the internet. We have collected everything in one place for you, on the website carme.pro. Here you can find out everything about the car, what brakes and at what mileage, any problems with engines, chassis or gearboxes, which trim levels are better not to mess with and how not to lose money buying a used car. You will learn all this on carme.pro.